All right, we're working in a neighborhood with big trees. We got trees literally growing up right by our system. So what do we do in a situation like this? We build our system to air prune these trees. How do you do that? How do you build a system to air prune any tree roots that try to grow in it? Stay tuned. All right, we're on a larger property. A lot of pipes going in the ground. A lot of pipe. We're competing against trees, and we're gonna win. We're gonna win because we're gonna have a lot of airspace, and any roots that try to grow in our system are gonna get air pruned. Check this out. That is a full frame Screaming Demon. That thing's badass. This thing is really gonna rip, man. This thing is truly set up to move an insane amount of water. The homeowner described the water here as a river. It would cut through the lot and it would go in between the garage and the house and flow down the driveway. And they'd be helpless. So we're working the grade, and we're building the grade up in here so that that water cannot make its way in between the buildings, and instead we have a swale around this property. And in the middle of that swale, we're ditching out a really nice French drain system. Right here is where that full frame Screaming Demon's gonna sit. Man, this is an hour and a half from where I live, where we dispatch from, but I'd love to see this thing work. I already know it's gonna be just ridiculous, crazy, and sick. Hopefully the homeowner can provide us with some video when it goes down. You know, I'm trying to encourage all of our clients to do that. All right, we're on a pretty big property. You get to do some really cool stuff when you got a clean slate. So you can see Valentine is backblading the whole lot. You can see that big trencher that we bought from our Ditch Witch dealer. Really, this is where it shines. It shines on new construction where there's no sod, no sprinklers. And I'll tell you what, if you put utilities in for a living, I mean, look at that. You could run, you know, big utilities. You could have easily a 10-inch pipe in this trench. I mean, that is a nice trench. This is going to give the electrician a lot of room, some leeway as he's bending up his conduit. And it didn't take that long at all, just a matter of a couple minutes. So the guys cut this out. Right now they're ditching the center of the swale out so that we could put our high octane with our double punch filter fabric. It's got a crazy high flow rate. We're gonna put really large rocks. We're gonna put 2 pipes in here because I wanna move a lot of air. I wanna be able to air prune all the roots from these trees. In order to do air pruning, you have to have multiple pipes and you have to have very large aggregate. And you must have a burrito wrap system. Because once you get dirt migrating into your stone, the roots are gonna always be wet. You're not gonna be able to air prune. So it's key. It's so key when you're working around these big trees and you're putting in a yard drain system, a French drain system. It's key that you go ahead and build it with more than 1 pipe and very large aggregate. You have to have a lot of air space in your French drain system. Again, the roots are gonna try to grow in this system. In the spring, during the rainy season, they'll probably actually grow into the system some. But during the drought season, with all the airspace, it's gonna air prune and those roots are gonna dry up and just become dust and just fall and just crumble. Literally get carried out during the next, rain event, basically. So remember that, multiple pipes, at least 2, minimum of 2. And use 1.5-inch round rock. If you're in a situation where you're not going to be walking on your system, because it'll feel like you're walking on golf balls if you go to 2 or 3 inch. But if you're in a situation where that's not the case, you're not trying to grow grass over it, then go to 2 inch, go to 3 inch. The bigger the rock, the more airspace you create. But beware, if this is going to be a place that you're going to walk, I've learned the hard way. I want as much airspace in my systems as I possibly can. Everybody wanted to know, what is the secret? Why is your system maintenance free? How come you never have roots growing in your system? Well, it's because we build it with so much airspace and we make sure it doesn't hold any water. The airspace will allow air to circulate. It'll dry out any roots. That's it, man. Done. They just fall right off. Build your system to air prune the trees and shrubs around your system. An 1.5-inch round rock is that happy medium where you have a lot of airspace and it doesn't feel like you're walking on golf balls and softballs. Always make your sump pit deeper than your yard drain trench. Now we got the luxury of having a track hoe, but DIYers, you want to definitely get your sump pit deeper than your trench. You want the trench to be dry. You want the water to fall into the sump trench. That's why we have so many different sump units that are pre-built, ready just to be dropped in by the DIY. Whatever height you need, I'm pretty sure we got it. And we've sent out some crazy tall ones too for people that had some, you know, unique situations. So again, we're pretty deep here, but we brought our Screaming Demon full frame, which is 30 inches tall. So we're 30 inches deep right here. We usually don't recommend bringing dirt in, but when you're trying to, redirect like a river of water, white water, you want to go ahead and cut a nice swale. You need to block the path that the water takes. All you have to do is just raise that elevation. Now, when the water starts to build up, it'll climb up that elevation. As it swallows up more of this corner of the yard, you have more water building up. That's when it can come up and actually go up higher. Now that this is dammed, that's what would have happened. But we took the dirt from the swale and we dug the dirt out and we added it so that we had a nice cap, a nice crown to this yard. All the water runs to the swale, and when the water comes out of these neighboring properties during these thaws, or a February thaw with a hard, rain, you end up with a 2-3 inches of rain. That water now is just going to run right into the swale. We're going to corral that water, and we're going to lead it right to our duplex. We have a duplex screaming demon in over here. It was the absolute biggest, baddest thing we got, and it was perfect for this application. Now we put 4 pipes in here, and we used very clean rock. We had a good load, really clean rock, no fines. So we have 1.5 inch clean round rock. So there's a lot of air in this system. We got 4 pipes. That quad pack, that creates giant voids. Those voids just hold air. There'll be water moving through the bottom of this system during rain events, but outside of that, there's going to be a lot of air. This is going to dry it out. Any tree roots that grow into this system, they try to grow into the pipes, into the system, they're going to be just air pruned. They're literally just going to dry up, become dust, fall right off. So this is something that we've been doing a lot of. We've done a lot of research. We don't have to ever snake out any of our drains. None of them. They're too big, they're too bad, and we just have so much space for air. So the trees, the shrubs, they can't do nothing. They can't sit in water and stay alive. They're going to be in open air space. They're going to just dry out, and it's not going to hurt the plants. The root just falls off. Air pruning is something that is getting more and more popular, and it's getting more and more known. In the nursery business, if you're a nurseryman, spend any time in that arena, you definitely know about air pruning. It's the way to go versus, say, root-bound, container-grown plants. But we're using that same technique in the way we build our systems so that the trees don't plug our system. We're building the only maintenance-free French drains. The way we show you to build a French drain, it's the only maintenance-free way of building a French drain. So the guys went ahead and put some dirt over the fabric so that grass can grow here. Landscape is going to go up against the fence. Did a really nice job. This is a beautiful job. Make sure you put 3 inches of like a sandy loam. We had topsoil mixed with sand, and it's working out really good. You just mix up that topsoil and sand, put a few inches on there. If you live in the Sun Belt region, might require a little more because you guys are under some intense heat during the drought season. All right, so now you know how to redirect water when you have a high volume of water a crazy amount of water. You want to use a quad pack. And when you have trees, big trees, and you got to worry about those trees, you want a quad pack, not just to move that water, but to help you air prune those trees. Now here's the finished product. The guys that are going to come in behind us, whoever they may be, maybe it's the customer, he's going to put some grass seed down, throw some straw over top of that, and you know, really that's it. I mean, this is a beautiful swale. I mean, the guys did such a good job cutting this swale in. It's so hard to do, where it's just so soft and easy to mow. I mean, just truly incredible. And the garage is going to get demoed, and there's going to be a garage put here. So the homeowner only gave us 5 feet to work with off the fence. So you can see how high the grade used to be. What a difference, what a difference. So we really had to cut this swale down. I mean, there was no swale. So we created a swale by cutting the grade down quite a bit. Now we just got to get our discharge lines hooked up. We're going to take this water out to the front. All right, everybody. Until that next video.